Hello and welcome to my channel Crafting with me, Indiana Jones. And spring has sprung! Well, I hope it has wherever you are, but if not, I'm here to bring you the sunshine of spring with these wonderful crafting ideas together with my friends. I am collaborating with my sweet friends Dawn of Shabby Meets Bling and Monica of Up All Night DIY and a bevy of beautiful crafters to bring spring and Easter ideas to you in this Cant Sleep Creations Collaboration. So stay up all night with us as we begin to craft for spring. One of the beautiful things I love about spring is just refreshing your home, refreshing all your decor. And the easiest to do that is just, spiffy up stuff that you might have around the house or that you find on the side of the road. Actually, I found this in my garage. I'm sure somebody gave it to me and I decided, well, it's time to spiffy this up. That wood, that orangey wood color has nothing to do with what we're doing nowadays in decor. So here I added this beautiful sagey spring green color. And I had, of course, branches that I picked up in my backyard and this cute little metal birdhouse that I had hanging around as well. I think I bought it on clearance last year. Now I'm just painting it. I decided to paint it this beautiful sunny yellow color. And I aged it a little bit. I put a little bit of, antique wax on it. And now I'm adding my branches. I don't know what it is with me and twigs, but I love adding twigs and branches and things. And this can be used as a frame. It could be used as a small wreath. It could be used any way you'd like. So I decided it's going to be like a little wreath. Now I'm just adding some moss wherever you need to add moss. And the more moss, the better sometimes. It makes a mess though. I mean, gosh, I wish there was like, you know how they have glue with glitter? Why can't they have glue with like moss already in it? I mean, I could do that, but I don't know if it would work. I think it would be like gluey moss. It just doesn't look right. Anyway, I'll talk to people. See what's out there. But anyway, I love using the moss just to hide like where the branches are meeting together so it doesn't distract from the design. And of course, I'm adding some foliage. This is, I believe, from the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. I just had like and there's a little kitty hand. That's a little kudu who helps me out while I'm crafting. And yeah, I'm just adding some greenery. You can add any kind of greenery you'd like. Now you can make if you have a frame around the house and you'd like to do something similar, pick up some branches that you have around your backyard or your front yard or when you go walking in the park. And if you don't have a birdhouse, you can just make a little, with some moss, you can make a little pretend nest and put some little Easter eggs in there. It's anything you like. And if you don't have any of those items and you just have some florals, you just add the florals. It does not have to be exact, but I'm just here to inspire you. So I hope that you're inspired to create something sweet and pretty to hang in your home. And again, here I am adding my florals. I decided pink. I have a thing with pink and light green. Have you noticed? So I don't know if this is shabby chic or it's cottagecore. I feel with the amount of leaves and moss, I think it's more towards cottagecore, but because of the colors of that, light green and the pink and the yellow, I don't know. I think sometimes it's shabby chic. Either way, it'll match in your home. You could put a ribbon on top. I go ribbonless most of the times, but there you have it. I think it's lovely for any wall in my home or even in my front door. And there's another little paw checking out what's going on. So just try this yourself at home. And if you do, please share it with me on Instagram. I would love to see how I've inspired you and I would love to see your creations. Now, I absolutely love Easter, but I wanted to create a more faith-based Easter decoration. So I hope this inspires you to create something a little different. Everybody's using the bunnies and the Easter eggs, and I love those too. But sometimes we lose sight of what is really happening in this season. So number one, I want you to realize that although this might look like a Bible later, it's not a Bible. not at all. This was actually a book that was being thrown out at work. So I picked it up because you know how I am with things being thrown out at the office. So I believe this, like a bunch of these books were received and they were old already and we no longer needed them, or I don't know the whole story, but I decided to pick up a few for some crafts. Now, you know, I'm not throwing out the inner part of those pages. No, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to use that. Now, if you've seen me make my enchanted books, it's a very similar process. However, I opened the book up in the middle of the book to use it as decoration. So this is very painstaking. It takes a lot of time, but it is well worth the effort. I wish the book was a little deeper because I wanted to make the images or the design a little deeper in the book itself. But I think this works out just fine. And all I'm doing is cutting out, and I didn't really measure it because it's not like I'm putting it behind a frame. But as you can see, I measured it the same on both sides. And what I'm going to do is putting images in the book that remind me of Easter, or, you know, significant images that remind me of Easter. And again, you can use it, you know, if you're not religious, that's fine. You can use images of like vintage images of the rabbit, or, you know, Peter Rabbit even. That would be really pretty. Or if you love like literature, you can use like Austen, like Jane Austen books. I almost said Austin Powers. That we don't want to, no, we don't need to make decor based on Austin Powers. But if that's your thing, babe, as he would say, you know, you go with it. Just rock with it. So here are the beautiful images that I found on the internet. I don't know if they're free or not. I'm not going to sell them. I'm just using them as an example. I'm hoping that it's okay. I don't know. They just popped up and I just picked the first images that really spoke to me. So I hope there's no problems with that. Now, all I'm doing is I'm going to decoupage both images there. And if you haven't met Luna before, this is my little kitty cat Luna, who's making sure that I'm doing everything properly done. She is my quality control cat. Now, after I applied the Mod Podge, I let it dry a little. I wrinkled it. I know, I wrinkled it. And I let it dry a little, so it's still a little tacky. And then once I did that, I put the paper on top, the image on top, and I ironed it with my little mini iron. And I will do the same for the other side. Again, these images meant so much to me when I saw them, and I thought I wanted to display them in a very different and interesting way. So same thing, I put the Mod Podge on, and this is the matte Mod Podge. Not that it matters, because I don't think it matters. It's up to you. But it's the matte Mod Podge, or whatever it is that you particularly use. Now you can just use a glue stick or a stick glue, or Elmer's glue, whatever you'd like, white glue, PVC glue. And I'm doing the same thing. And I'm trying to stay away from Luna because she gets her little paws in my crafts. But no, she's safe. Don't worry, you guys. She is very safe there. They didn't want to go into their boxes today for some reason. So she's sitting there and guiding me. She is my little spirit guide for crafting. Now, I am I'm actually painting the pages, the interior pages, with Mod Podge to try to glue them together so they can stay together. And again, because it's Mod Podge, it's okay. I'm going to seal those images as well. And I think for this, I actually used gloss Mod Podge to seal in the images. And I'm also gluing the outside of the pages, or the outside rims of the pages, just so that they stick together. So if I move the book around, the pages don't flap or anything else. And yeah, that's a pretty simple process. Now, here's what's going to be different. I'm using one of these Dollar Tree cutting boards, and you've seen them, these little wooden cutting boards. And all I'm going to do is stand my book on these cutting boards, because again, these are what I like to call enchanted books. So a little bit of the story of, the Christ Passion and the Resurrection will come out and flow out of those book pages onto that wood board. Now, here comes the fun part, because like I said, you're going to bring these images to life. And there's little Luna still watching me. Here I'm going to use this Spanish moss. It's dark, it's brown, it's pretty much dead. And of course, some dead pieces of wood that I picked up in a bark that I picked up as I walk around my neighborhood. And as I said before, I'm just trying to bring the feeling of that first image to life and make it come out of the book onto this wood board so that you can have this as a centerpiece. I think this is perfect as a mantelpiece decoration. And it took me a few hours, but I think it's such a meaningful and such a lovely remembrance of what Easter truly is about that I really am looking forward to, displaying this year and for years to come. Now I'm just adding moss to the inner pages to, for those edges of the pages, so you don't necessarily see the pages. Oh, and I also forgot to say I gilded the outside pages as well. That's why you see them darkened like that. I thought it would be nice just to put a little bit of it's like a dark bronze, so it looks vintage. And I continue adding some flora and fauna to that crucifixion side of this project. But that is not what we're necessarily celebrating. And of course, I had to add it's a little bigger than I wanted to. I added this crown of thorns just as a remembrance. And I also added some nails and this tiny little hammer that I made out of the wood that I had left over. And again, it's just to commemorate and, reflect upon the crucifixion and God's sacrifice. But now we're going to celebrate the resurrection on the other side. And this is going to be completely different. I'm starting off with some moss. I had some moss sheets and I decided to put that down as the base for what I'm going to create on this side, on the resurrection side of the book. And I don't know if you've ever seen anything like that. If you have, I would love to find out. I hadn't really seen, I'd seen it just, one side, or I'd seen people just put the images on top of the paper, but not cut the images into the paper. So I thought this would be pretty. And I love the staircase. And there's Luna again. I have both of them coming in to check. And I thought it was funny that one side's on the light side, the other one's on the dark side. Kind of like them, their mischievousness. But I love the staircase of those rocks going out of the cave, so I wanted to recreate that and just picked up some rocks on my walks, my nature walks around the neighborhood. And lastly, I wanted to add some flowers, and I thought it was important to add some beautiful purple blooms and white and yellow blooms. There are a few pink ones, but I wanted to stay within the purple, white, and yellow just as reverence and remembrance and celebration of God's resurrection. I hope you're all getting excited about planning for Easter and spring with your families. I love celebrating Easter with my family. I have so many fond memories of my mom. Of course, I still miss her. It's been 2 years. Actually, it's going to be 3 years this year. I can't believe it. And Easter, she used to love Easter so much. She used to love the flowers and the celebrating and just dressing up and going to church for Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday. So however it is that you celebrate, I hope that you have such a blessed, wonderful time with your families. And maybe this is something that you can bring as a gift to a home that you're going to be visiting during Easter. I think this would be so lovely for anyone to receive. Again, if this is your first time here, I hope you're inspired to subscribe and come back for more. Now, here's a fun and easy and quick, wonderful way to create decor or even to create a hostess gift for Easter. All I did here was save my eggshells, and what I did was I opened them at the top tip, at the very apex of the egg, cleaned out the eggshells, and now I'm just melting down some candles that the wick had already burnt out and I couldn't use them, and they were leftover candle wax in these candles. So I'm putting them to good use and making it sweet and creative by just melting them and putting them into these little eggs. Now I had little wicks, and you can buy them. They're very easy to buy, and you'll get a bunch of them, so you can reuse those, burnt out candles that haven't been burnt out, all, the wax hasn't been used up all the way. Now I'm using these wonderful folk art paints. I think they're so cute and pastel and lovely, and they will be ready to display on my Easter brunch table this year. And now I'm going to create what I like to consider my style of Faberge eggs. And I'm starting off with this Dollar Tree Easter egg. It's like a large Easter egg. And I have what they call amazing resin. Well, it's just called amazing resin. It's not that they call it well, they called it amazing. You get what I mean. It's called amazing resin. It's a 2-step process for this amazing resin because it cures within 10 minutes. There's no fumes, there's no bad smells, and it works really, really fast. Watch time lapse. Look at this. Isn't this cool? So as it hardens, it turns from clear to white, and it is truly amazing. So I bought it on Amazon, and it was suggested. I first found out about it from Erin of the Provincial Farmhouse. She has wonderful ideas, and she's always been so inspirational for me. So I appreciate this cool trick. Now I took the egg outside. I painted the inside, spray painted the inside with gold metallic paint and the outside with white, just to make, I guess, like, because it's slick, because it's plastic, I wanted to have like a primer. So the white spray paint acts as a primer. Now here I have unmolded all of my resin items. I'm going to have these little borders and that beautiful little frame inside. And I was just trying to make sure, and look at this beautiful little garland as well. So now I'm going to paint the outside of this egg, and I have this beautiful, I don't know what kind of color this is, but it's like a pearlized blue folk art paint. I absolutely love it. I was thinking in between either purple or blue, and I just went with the blue because it's so springy, it's so pretty. And I have this fondness for greens and blues. I don't know if you've noticed that. And pink and gold. So I'm using all of these ideas in my projects today. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of that beautiful pearlized blue into the inside, because I felt like the little gold frame wasn't going to really stand out within that gold background. Now I am painting with folk art paint these beautiful frames, all these embellishments that this little egg is going to have. Well, it's rather a big egg. But at first I didn't like the color of, hello, little kudu, she came to say hello. I didn't like that light gold, and I did go over it with a chocolate gold color. You'll see it later. It's almost as if you had used, the chocolate gold almost looks like if I had used antiquing wax. So you can use antiquing wax, or you can use rub and buff, whatever is your preference. Now I was going to paint that garland completely gold, but you'll see what I do later. Now I'm taking this beautiful little painting, or this image of these two little birds over their little nest and little eggs. Oh my goodness gracious. Don't do voiceovers at night. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, don't do voiceovers late at night, because this is what it'll sound like. Now I'm using Mod Podge, and I have to say this resin is very accepting, even though it's like a plastic. It becomes a plastic. It is very receiving of the acrylic paints and also Mod Podge. Now, as you can see in this little garland, I decided to give it a little color. And I'll tell you, once again, it was Erin who inspired me, because she did that for Christmas. She actually added color, and it wasn't all one color. Now here I am adding a little bit of that chocolate gold. It's like a very deep, rich, warm gold color. So I thought I would add it just to make all the little, details of that frame pop out. Now I'm using super gloss, extra gloss, I think, super gloss, like super base, super gloss over that painting, just to make it really look like as if it was a jewel or something hanging in the middle of this Faberge eggs. Now I love Faberge eggs. I love, finding out about them. And if you don't know anything about them, they were from Emperor Nicholas, I think. I can't remember now. It's too late at night. Anyway, he would give his wife these beautiful Faberge eggs and he was like the Tsar of Russia, and before the revolution. And he would give his wife these beautiful ornate Easter eggs every year for Easter. And yeah, they were gorgeous. They're stunning. And there are so many stories involved with Faberge eggs. I have to look it up one day and just read them out to you. It's just fascinating. Anyway, here I'm adding the final accessories, including one of those little tiny crowns from Totally Dazzled that I had received during Christmas. And here I'm just showing you how to use glue sticks, small pieces of glue sticks, to support the garland that I am going to attach at the very bottom. I also painted a glass candlestick in gold, and now I'll show you the final reveal after I have a few little scratchy seconds with my little kitty cat. Thanks once again to my dear sweet friends Dawn and Monica, and when I say friends, I mean truly, we are kindred spirits. They put together this collaboration for Cant Sleep Creations for Spring and Easter, and not only check out their channels, but the full playlist below. And if you enjoyed this, then prepare yourselves for next week, where I'm going to be part of the Thrift Flip road trip with Sammy of Unicorn Dust Designs and Kay and Trish, the beautiful and sweet special crafting cousins. So come back for more. And if you did enjoy today's collaboration, well, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on all the fun. As I always say, stay safe, be kind, God bless each and every one of you, and remember to live the adventure, and I'll see you again very, very soon.